it is time to turn our attentions once again to some Chicago Bears talk here on the KeNikka Sports Show. We have a huge Bears game this week after the first bye week of the Ben Johnson era. Caleb Williams and the Bears are getting ready to invade Washington, D.C. and face Jayden Daniels and the Washington Commanders. And oh, by the way, it just so happens this game is on Monday Night Football, Nika. Wow. And I just want to remind our audience that we personally will be tuning into the Manning brothers for this game. Yeah. But I need to issue a warning to Peyton and Eli. I hope this reaches their ears. You are not allowed to bring on a former Washington player, Redskins, Commanders, nameless. I don't care what team they played for. If they wore the maroon and gold in their career, you are not allowed to bring them as a guest in the fourth quarter of this game if the Bears are winning. In the first opening week of this NFL season, 2025, I was enjoying the Manning cast so much. Bears, Vikings, the third quarter ends, and it is 17-6 in favor of the beloved. And what happens, Nika? Peyton and Eli bring on Randy Moss as their fourth quarter guest. And all of a sudden, the Vikings just start playing like the Tom Brady Patriots out there and throwing the ball all over the field, torching our defense that had been not giving up a touchdown all game, 2 field goals the first 3 quarters. Next thing you know, we lose the game.
So you're saying they jinxed the game?
I'm saying they jinxed the game. They did it, and they're not allowed to do this to us again if we are winning. Okay?
What if we are losing?
I mean, I don't care who produces this show. It's not allowed. You have to make a rule that if your team is winning the Monday Night Football game after 3 quarters, whoever the losing team is not allowed to be the guest on the fourth quarter. I don't care if plans have been made. I don't care if schedules are only accommodating for this to happen. It doesn't matter. We cannot have it happen.
Okay, fair enough. What if they are losing? Do you bring a Bears guest then?
What, for luck?
Yeah.
Of course.
Oh,
we're the oldest team in the NFL. We get perks, okay?
Oh,
it comes
right.
with perks. Jeez. Papa Bear Hallis is called that for a reason. Let's talk about this Bears game. This is what we're going to be looking at here. This is a revenge game for the Bears, is it not? Revenge? We're going to be talking about that. Ben Johnson also had his first bye week as Chicago Bears head coach. I'm going to be telling you what I'm looking for coming out of the bye week for the Bears. And the comparisons, let's face it, they're never going to end between number 1 and number 2. I'm talking about Caleb Williams and Jayden Daniels, respectively, and where they were drafted. When you are drafted 1 and 2 in the same draft and you both play quarterback, you will inevitably always be compared with each other. So we're gonna compare them. Right. we're gonna give in to the dark side.
Ooh, is it Revenge of the Bear or Revenge of the Sith?
Well, first, if this is your first time here, please do us a solid. Like this video, subscribe to the channel so you never miss a Bears pregame or postgame show right here on the KeNikka Sports Show. And ring that bell, please, for our mascot, Frexy. Look at those orange goggles, everybody. Is she not a Bears fan or what?
Totally is.
The Bears. Thank you, Frexy.
The Bears. The Bears.
Thank you, super fans. It is time once again for a Chicago Bears pregame show. Nika, there is so much happening. We got ourselves a Bears revenge game here. And before we get into this, I want to remind everybody that last year, the Bears probably had the biggest season-turning moment, maybe in my lifetime. They were 4-2 when they played at Washington. They are 2-2, by the way, this year as they head to Washington. So not quite the same scenario, but very similar in the early days of the season still. And they go there 4-2 last year, still in the Eberflus era. And this is the Hail Mary game. This is when they lose at Washington on the last second Hail Mary. Should have never happened.
No.
The prevent defense fails because Tyreek Stevenson is taunting the Washington crowd as the play goes off and misses the hike and then tries to recover, flies in too late, and doesn't deflect the pass. So That's football. That's what happened, and that's your life as a Bears fan for the last few years, 14 years at least, since we had a playoff win appearance. I lose track when it's been that long.
Oh, so very similar to Mariners.
I had no gray hair the last time the Bears won a playoff game. That's for damn sure.
So Chicago fans from football should shake hands with Mariners fans from baseball.
All right. Well, this is technically a revenge game, right? But
Yeah,
I want to
think so.
remind people that these are both very different teams now, even though it's only been a year. Every season of every team is different.
Yeah.
And every circumstance is different. That said, Tyreek Stevenson, if you are taunting the Washington crowd again this year, I think we have a problem. I think we have a big problem. I don't think Ben Johnson's going to let that fly. But we do also have some injuries we need to talk about with the Bears, KeNikka, and let's get into it, shall we? There's some good, there's some bad, and there's some unknowns as we head into week 6 of the NFL season for the Chicago Bears, fresh off that bye week. So they have played one less game. The Commanders are 3-2 heading into this game. The Bears are 2-2. So a pretty meaningful game for both teams here on Monday night in primetime. And all right, well, let's look at that injury report, shall we? Let's start with Kyler Gordon. And I have Kyler Gordon in the good category. He says he's going to play. He told the media he will be playing on Monday Night Football. He's been limited in practice so far this week. It is only one day of reports, and it is Friday. We don't have the injury report yet for today, and there will also be another report tomorrow, if you didn't know that. So they will update the status of all these players that I'm going to talk about tomorrow and today as well. Okay. I said that backwards, but you get it. Kyler Gordon says he's going to play. He was limited in practice. He's coming off a hamstring injury. This would be a huge boost to the Bears secondary, everybody. We need Kyler Gordon back and healthy, running around. And those hamstring injuries, man, you got to be really careful, KeNikka. They are so finicky, and I feel like they are the most common injury for re-aggravation. Like, you will see a guy come back too soon from a hamstring injury and then turn around and leave. And I'm talking about you, TJ Edwards, who is now coming back for a second time this season from a hamstring injury. He played week 2 at Detroit only to leave that game early, re-aggravating the hamstring. He's coming back again. I'm really going to be watching to make sure he is not getting carted off the field again or limping off the field again, because we need TJ Edwards. We need Kyler Gordon. So hopefully their hamstrings are all mended up. But it is good news that they're playing. It's also good news that Austin Booker is playing. He's been full practice with a knee injury this week, so he looks like he's going to be back. That's pretty cool. Now let's get to some of the bad news, KeNikka. We have 2 offensive line injuries heading into this game off of the bye week, and that's a little bit rough, because I don't think I don't know if these guys were injured during practice, but they weren't on the radar as being injured coming out of the Raiders game. Jonah Jackson, one of our big offseason trades that we made, is limited in practice right now with a rib injury. And Darnell Wright, he is supposed to play on Sunday, but he did not practice yesterday with an elbow injury. So a couple things we got to keep an eye on there.
An elbow injury?
It happens.
Okay.
I mean, a lot of linemen wear elbow pads, just extra support gear.
Okay.
Because it is, I mean, if you get an elbow on the helmet, I mean, you can have a nasty
bruise.
I mean, you're talking about the funny bone. There's nothing funny about that.
Yeah.
All right. So the offensive line is banged up, and this is a big deal because, one of the things that we wanted to see coming out of this bye week was a better Bears run blocking. And one of the keys to run blocking is practicing as a unit and a cohesive unit. And when you don't get reps together, it just disrupts the whole game plan attack and knowing where your strengths and weaknesses are in the run game. So I'm quite concerned about the Bears turning around their run game after the bye week, and I thought it was something that they really, really needed to do.
So this is something we should be watching for.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I'm definitely going to be watching to see how
As a
this goes
unit.
and who actually dresses for this game.
Okay.
All right. Also on the bad side of things on the defense, Grady Jarrett, another player that I believe we traded for from the Falcons, he did not practice with a knee injury. And Jaquan Brisker in the backfield, he did not practice with a quad injury. So more injuries that were kind of unknown heading out of the Raiders game that now seem to be a problem. And, it's just banged up bodies. It's part of the NFL season and process, and no team dresses all of the same 22 starters on both sides of the ball for the whole season. It never happens. So you really are as strong as your weakest link in the NFL and in any professional sport, to be honest. All right. Well, that's that. Now we have some unknowns. Kyle Monangai, the 7th round running back draft pick for the Bears, he did not practice with a thigh injury. That's got to be rough. And Colston Loveland, he is limited in practice, so there's some hope that he will play. He was the Bears' #1 overall draft pick. He did not play against the Raiders, so I hope he is back, because we need both Colston Loveland and Cole Kmet to stretch the field for the Bears. Another thing I want to keep an eye on and bring up, Kairos Santos, the Bears kicker. He had a great game on the road at Vegas. He hit 4 of 4 field goals. He is practicing, but he's on the injury report with a right thigh injury. And if he has a thigh injury on his kicking leg, is he going to be limited in any way with distance?
That's why they got this.
Goodness.
That's why they got the second guy from the 49ers.
Yeah, I think there was some concern coming out of the
Second
Vikings
week.
game because he missed a field goal that maybe would have sealed that game 1 victory, but he did bounce back and get a game ball in game 4 against the Raiders. So, I mean, we need a kicker, and we need one that's healthy and competent, especially on the road in the NFL, because this game could get decided by a field goal. All right, Nika. Well, this is Ben Johnson's first bye week as a head coach, and I want to talk about what I'm looking for from the Bears coming out of a bye week, because if you know football at all, you know that in the course of an NFL season, the bye week is one of the most important weeks for any team, because it's a chance to just practice. You don't have to necessarily game plan for an opponent. You can kind of go back and do like a mini training camp, if you will, for a week, and get back to the basics and the fundamentals, and then you can zero in on what you've struggled with in the first 4 or 8 weeks or wherever you're at in the season, because not everyone gets the same bye week. Ben Johnson, before the season even started, had mentioned that the Bears getting a week 5 bye week was a big bonus for them, because it gave them a chance early on in the season to address some things that might be problematic or showing signs of problems early in the season, and not having to wait necessarily to week 8 or 9 to address some of those things, right? So I want to point out a couple things. Ben Johnson, a reminder, he was the offensive coordinator against Washington last year in the postseason. The Lions hosted the Commanders in Detroit and were upset big time. The Lions had, the number 2 seed last year, number 1 seed. The Commanders came in there and beat them in their house. And I thought it was interesting to look at. Now, Jared Goff had 3 interceptions in that game, and the Lions still put up 31 points of offense. That's amusing to me, because aside from Dallas, the Bears haven't put up 31 points on anybody yet this year. So
Well, you can't hang your hat on the
I just thought it was some useful data to look at. Like, Ben Johnson knows the Commanders.
Sure.
He knows some of these players. He knows some of their schemes. He knows how to scheme against them. It makes you wonder if that game would have turned out differently had his quarterback not intercepted the ball 3 times last year in the playoffs, but that's neither here nor there now. It's all in the past. Ben Johnson is the Bears head coach now. So coming off of this bye week, the first one in the career of head coach Ben Johnson, this is what I want to see from the Bears this year, Nika. First of all, I want the team to play sharper than they've played in the first 4 weeks of the season and really cut down on the penalties. You can see in this graphic that I pulled here that the Bears are one of the worst teams in penalties to start this year. They rank 6th in all of the NFL in penalties against. They are, 8.5 penalties per game.
Yeah.
Averaging as a team, 8.5. They have given up an average of 69.5 yards a game in penalties.
That's horrible.
Almost 70 yards. You're just handing them on a silver platter to the opponent. Here, just take 70 yards back.
That's like walks in baseball.
It is. You're absolutely. Oh, great analogy from. If you don't know this wizard, KeNikka.
Wizard, all right.
Well, I don't like to call her a witch. People might get the wrong idea, but she is a wizard in the kitchen and in the gym and in some very other important aspects of life.
Sweet.
All right. Well, the Bears' discipline score is a 39 according to the charts. Not good.
No.
It is. That's where you get the overall score, and there's only 5 teams that rank worse than they do this year, and so we want to get in the upper half the rest of the way.
Sure.
I'm not saying you're going to be able to fix these first 4 weeks.
Probably not.
Let's not go backwards. Let's not look at our overall rank week to week. Let's just work on being improved from now on.
Well, you know where your weaknesses are.
We got to cut it in half. 8.5 needs to become 4.
Sure.
For now. That's a short-term goal. Let's make it happen. All right. The other thing the Bears need to do, KeNikka, is they need to continue somewhat to score early, but they need to score more often. They need to not stop. They are showing signs of being great at scoring in the first quarter, believe it or not. They rank second in the entire NFL in first quarter scoring. They trail only the defending Super Bowl champion Eagles in points per first quarter to start the season. 8.0 for the Eagles, 7.8 for the Bears.
Okay.
7.6 for Buffalo. I mean, you're talking about great NFL teams in that mixture, minus the Eagles wetting the bed last night against the Giants. Oh, my gosh.
So what happened in the second quarter?
The second quarter, the Bears have fallen.
Oh.
And not only fallen, they've fallen to 19th. You go from second overall to 19th. That shows to me that the Bears are coming in the first quarter with a really good game plan, a solid game plan. And then not only that, they are executing some of it some of the time because they're getting out to early leads against teams.
Sure.
Minnesota, Dallas, Las Vegas. What's not happening, though, is that, or what is also happening, it shows me, is that the other team's defense is adjusting faster than the Bears can stay ahead of them. They are making an adjustment, and then the Bears are not adjusting back quick enough to keep the pedal to the metal.
I see.
So this is something that they need to keep an eye on and, just always be scheming. Don't wait for the defense to adjust to you necessarily. Keep them on their toes. Be like, oh my gosh, what are they going to do next? This is what great NFL teams do, right? They don't keep doing the same thing until you adjust. They don't wait for you to adjust. All right. So the third quarter, by the way, the Bears are 11th in scoring. So 5.3 points. Baltimore is number 1 at 8.2. Quite a big gap there. That shows me that the Bears are not necessarily coming out of halftime and making great adjustments yet. I want to see a little bit more like I see in the first quarter out of the Bears in the rest of the season after this bye week. You need to come out of halftime with a plan and execute it and put points on the board and put pressure back on the other team. I don't care if you're on the road or at home. You need to do this. This is something that good coaches are judged on. What halftime adjustments do you make, and do your players execute it? So you got to put the players in a position to succeed as well. It's a player and a coach responsibility here. In the fourth quarter, KeNikka, the Bears fall off the map. They are 22nd. They need to score more points late. Now, having said that, they did score a fourth quarter touchdown on the road against Las Vegas to win that game, and that was huge. They got lucky because they gave up a huge kickoff to the Raiders only to block the field goal and escape Las Vegas with a win. But let's not screw up that opportunity that gives us. We're 2-2 coming out of the bye week now. So let's clean up some of these things. The Bears need to stop scoring inconsistently. They need to be more consistent at scoring throughout the entire course of the game. Better sustained drives, move the ball further down the field, keep the ball on the other side of the 50,
Sure, but that comes with experience. That comes with playing together as a team. And that might not happen this season. That might happen next season.
Nika brings up hard truths that we all must deal with as Bears fans is that, Caleb Williams is 24 years old. He is still young. He's in his second NFL season, and he has a first-year head coach in Ben Johnson, who is an offensive wizard, but it remains to be seen if he can be a head coaching wizard. The signs are pointing upward, though.
Sure. But it takes time. Nothing happens overnight.
I also want to say, coming out of this bye week, that the defense, I feel like, should be motivated to play well in this game based on what happened last year.
Okay.
But giving up that Hail Mary and what it was embarrassing. And there are a lot of people that were on the field when that happened that are going to be playing on the field Sunday.
Okay.
And it's the same field, by the way. I don't know how that works. I gotta research my NFL scheduling. I know strength of schedule is determined based on your record from the previous year, but I don't know how it happened that the Bears got the Commanders twice in a row at their place. So it might have something to do with strength of schedule, and just that's the way it worked out. So tough luck. But it is a shame that this game is not at Soldier Field.
Well, it's okay. You still got to win on the road. You still got to be able to put together a good game.
You do. And I want to send a word of warning out to the Bears, Nika, because I feel like if they struggle early on defense in this game against Jayden Daniels, that they could be in for a long afternoon, because I just feel like that will affect them mentally.
Of course.
After what happened last year, to then have a bad start to this game is the last thing the Bears defense needs. So I really hope that Dennis Allen has a great game plan lined up for this Washington Commanders team, which is not an easy team to play. They are beatable. The Bears can win this game, but they are beatable. But they need a good defensive game plan going into this game, and they need to execute it early. All right, Nika. Well, one more story to cover for the Bears-Redskins game. And, of course, it's probably going to be the biggest story when it comes to the national media. And I am, of course, talking about Caleb Williams taking on Jayden Daniels, the two men who will be under center for the respective teams on Monday night. And before we get into this comparison, I do want to say up front that I believe this game is way more important than either one of these two as individuals for their respective teams. The Commanders are 3-2, the Bears 2-2. Each team needs to win to kind of keep pace with where they want to get to in this season. The Bears, of course, playing one less game. But you cannot hide either, because they're the number 1 and number 2 overall picks from the 2024 NFL draft, and they always will be, Nika. And this is the second time that they're playing against each other. I figured, you know what? Let's do it. Let's just give in to hate, or to the dark side, and compare them. And so I went to StatHead, of course, the place where everyone goes to compare quarterbacks and to compare baseball players and to compare Hall of Fame stats and all this stuff. So I went to StatHead and I plugged in Jayden Daniels and Caleb Williams, and we're going to take a look at their careers. And as you can see here, when you look at the career numbers right out of the gate for Jayden Daniels and Caleb Williams, it looks like the numbers pretty heavily favor Jayden Daniels so far. Obviously, in head-to-head, he's 1-0. The Bears lost on the Hail Mary last year, so Caleb Williams, unfortunately, 0-1. Should have been 1-0. Had a game-winning drive in the fourth quarter in that game as well, on the road. But it was not to be. You look at these overall numbers, the record, 14-6 for the Commanders, 7-14 for the Bears. Not good. Not good. Caleb has a few more passing yards, but less yards per attempt, which is, we know, is the more important number for quarterbacks. Yards per attempt is what really defines if you're truly great or not. Passing TDs favors Jayden Daniels by 1. And then you see the rest of the numbers, but no championships. Of course, Jayden Daniels had the playoff appearance last year and won on the road in Detroit. Caleb Williams does not have any of that experience. So when you look at these numbers on the surface, it looks like it heavily favors Jayden Daniels. But when you turn the page, Nika, to 2025, and you do the same StatHead comparison, but just with this season under the microscope, 4 games for Caleb Williams, 3 games for Jayden Daniels. He's been injured for a couple games, and he's coming off of a knee injury. He played last week, played pretty well. But Caleb Williams has a better completion percentage this year. He has more passing yards this year. He has more passing yards per attempt this year.
But you're comparing only half of this, not even half.
He has more yards per game. He has twice as many touchdown passes, a higher quarterback rating. I'm just saying that the book is way too early to say that Jayden Daniels is by far the better quarterback, like a lot of people think. And Caleb Williams has shown this year that he's having a really nice season. And I don't know if Jayden Daniels is regressing a little bit or if he's just suffering from that injury and not able to play up to his abilities 100%.
But that's a comparison you should be making at the end of the season, not in the beginning.
If I'm being a true realist, I would say at the end of their careers is the best time you can compare them. And if you want to be fair to both players now, but no one wants to be fair to them, so we're not being fair to them either. Sorry, boys. You are still both pretty much boys, and people are going to be playing this game for the rest of their lives. All I'm pointing out is the fact that, like, while I will be the first one to admit that Jayden Daniels had a far superior rookie season than Caleb Williams did, I am not giving up on Caleb Williams as a Bears fan, and I'm not saying that he will not be the better quarterback in the end. I think there's hope for that, and that's what you want if you're a Bears fan. You want to hope that even though the record doesn't show right now that Caleb Williams is a better winning quarterback in the NFL, that he does wind up winning more Super Bowls. That's what it's about at the end.
Okay, cheerleader Kenny.
Fine. I am going to cheerlead, all right? I want my Bears to win some Super Bowl trophies again in my lifetime that I actually remember this time. I was 4, 5 when they won the last one. I don't remember what, but I certainly don't remember it. I remember watching the VHS tape at my grandma's house, but not the actual game itself when it live happened.
At least you had something.
I guess. I'm sure I was there. I'm sure I watched it. Probably sleeping somewhere in a corner. All right, Nika. Do you have any prediction for this game on Monday Night Football, or are you staying out of the prediction business with football? I'm not sure. I kind of taken you off guard with this one.
That's okay. Are you asking me for scoring, or are you asking me who's going to win?
It can be whatever you want.
I hope the Bears win.
Of course.
Because,
I hope the Bears win too. Do you think they're going to?
Yeah, I take the Bears. They win. But it's not going to be a high-scoring game. Okay.
Nika's taking the Bears, and if you're a gambling person out there, she says take the under probably. Not going to be high scoring. Me, I'm going in a different direction.
Okay.
I guess I'm going high scoring. You can be the judge of that. I'm saying 61 points are going to be scored in this game.
Together? Both teams?
Combined.
Oh, okay. Jeez.
I am saying that the Bears are going to escape Washington with a 1-point victory. It's going to be 31-30. Possibly could come down to a last drive score for the Bears.
Okay. Well, I'm not going to go. It's going to be less than 30 points. It's going to be maybe one team will get to 20. Maybe.
Let me give you a little bit of reasoning. I just feel like coming out of the bye week, the Bears are going to have probably their best offensive week of the season. And so I think they're going to score at least 3 or 4 touchdowns. And if they do that, they're going to score. They're going to score this game. You could take it to the bank. I'm being bold. The Bears will score in this game. It's just a matter of if their defense can stop the Commanders enough times. That's it. That's what it's going to boil down to. Thank you for tuning in to another Chicago Bears pregame show here on the KeNikka Sports Show. This was fun. I had fun with this. And go Bears on Monday Night Football. Let us know in the comments below who you think is going to win this game, what you think the score is going to be, who you think is going to have a better game. Caleb, Jayden. How do you think Ben Johnson's going to look coming out of the bye week as a coach? Do you think that they're going to have more plays in the playbook and all that fun stuff? Or do you think it's better to focus on the fundamentals like run blocking and figuring out how to run the damn football?
Sometimes you have to go back to the basics.
All right. Well, stay healthy, Bears, and we'll see you on Monday night, everybody.